DBS community, welcome back to another video here with Chris. Today we're going to be going over the first leader that is coming out in set 22, which is going to be the Broly Paragus leader. As always, make sure you guys like and subscribe. You guys can support the channel. Thank you guys for everybody who has been subbing to the channel. We're getting closer to 2,000 subs. Hopefully by sometime this year we'll be able to hit that. I will be very, very excited if we can. And just thank you guys for your just continued support. It does mean a lot to me. I do appreciate it. So the first leader here is going to be Broly Paragus. So the first leader they showed off was a green leader from the new set. So let's check it out, see how good this could potentially be. So we have Activate Main, add up to one Broly or Paragus card that both is green and cost 1 from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it, as well as you negate the skill for the game. So this allows you to, essentially if you mulligan and you don't hit a Broly and or Paragus, or whichever card you actually need for you to be able to awaken, you can grab said piece from your deck for free, which is very, very good. Activate Main, if you have 2 or more energy and you have a skillless Broly card in play, draw 2 and add up to 1 card for add up cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 left and flip over. This is a constant theme, it seems to be, in this new set, where a lot of the leaders, if not all of the new leaders that are set based, are draw 2, which is interesting. Activate Main, you also do have a second effect where you can awaken at 4 life, which you are a restand 1, draw 1, which is still very cool. It does give you the option of not having to rely just on getting a skillless Broly in play to be able to awaken. On the awaken side, for one, this is probably one of the best looking awaken arts we have had in the game. This art's gonna look fantastic in full foil. Super Saiyan Broly, Devil of Destruction. Permanent, your red and green multicolor Broly cards in all areas gain -1 combo cost and -5k combo power. Essentially meaning all of your 10k combos are now 5k, but they are also free 5k, which is very, very important. Permanent, during a battle in which your Broly card is attacking a battle card, your opponent can't activate counter skills. So you have a way of sort of being able to clear board without your opponent just constantly floodgating you. When this card attacks, draw 1. Additionally, you may place 1 card from your battle area in your drop. If you do, this card gets 5k power for the turn. So you have a way of buffing yourself as well as being able to pop something in your battle area, which does have a lot of effect with the deck because you are a Broly deck. You're probably going to play Broly's Ring. Hint, hint. So being able to pop things like that is going to make this, gives you a little bit of control over your chains, so to speak. And this is very similar to the older Broly leaders anyways. A lot of the OG Broly leaders do this effect. So now, this is the best pure green-red leader I think we have had. This leader undeniably is better than Broly Surge when it comes to a lot of what this deck can do. Being able to go up, I think this leader is going to be very, very good. I think so far it's probably the best green leader we've had, obviously, since Gohan. But even in the sense of Gohan, this leader can, I feel like, be a very strong green leader. We'll have to see once the actual set comes out. Having interaction with counterspell decks, so decks that rely a lot on being able to just counter the first attack you do, a la green. Even green now, but honestly, any color other than black is probably going to be floodgating you the first attack that you do. So being able to sort of kind of stop that and being able to possibly clear something is very powerful. Having a 20k non-Z leader on swing is very powerful, making this guy a 20k, meaning that you can swing into Z battle cards. You can swing into Z leaders as well as 20k unisons without having to get rid of a card in hand is very powerful. And also just the battle area removal for your chains. This is going to be very important because there are a lot of effects you can put cards in the drop area that you just get some completely nasty effects that are probably not what Bandai expected, but you do have some very cool effects. Now we're going to get to 2 of the first cards that were announced, which is Broly and then Broly Paragus. So the Broly Lone Warrior, you search top 5 for any green Broly and Paragus card, meaning you can search out, super combos. You can search out the card that's next to you here. You can search out itself, but any green Broly card or any green Paragus cards, no energy cost requirement there. It's a very powerful 1-drop. Second one here is when you play it, you activate a Broly Ring from your deck or drop and shuffle your deck if you look through it. Very important because we do need a Broly Ring in play so we can awaken. And Activate Main, you can discard 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 green and red multicolored Broly card, and cost of 6 from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle. This actually might be the best turn 1 play. in this deck is playing Broly Paragus. So you get your field spell in play. You can activate the activate main effect to be able to grab a 6-drop red-green multicolor, and we'll go over that once we get over the field spell, but that is very important for you to play this deck out essentially on curve. Now the 2 1-drop Paraguses, we have Strategist and Beginnings of Ambition. Both of these activate a Broly Ring. The Strategist draws 1 and activates a Broly Ring from hand, while the Beginning of Ambitions activates a Broly Ring from deck or searches top 5 for a green Broly card. Both of these cards can also be played for free if you have a green Broly. If you have a Broly card in play, and when you activate main, you can't play Paragus cards for the turn. So you can actually free play one of these, which is crazy because you just get another cycle essentially for free. And it comes in an active mode, which is also very cool. So you can also combo this guy off, which is very good. You're a green deck. You don't want to waste energy on playing cantrips. So one thing that makes Gohan very good is that Gohan has the time chamber, being able to free play stuff. So in this deck, you get some at least free plays here where you can use them for draw power and comboing stuff. And then we have the 2 new field spells. We have Sealed Super Warrior and Dormant Super Warrior. Both of these are basically remakes of older field spells, just with a new twist on them. So Sealed Super Warrior is a new version of Broly's Ring. As you can see, it counts as Broly Ring in all areas. Auto for 1 green if your leader is a green Broly card. Win this card from your battle area in rest mode. It's placed in your drop. Play up to 1 red or green multicolored Broly with energy cost of 6 from your hand. And then activate main. If you have a Paragus card in play, you switch this card to rest mode. You can choose one of your Broly battle cards and negate its skills for the turn. So what's very cool is that the Broly Paragus I already showed you. You can basically play that guy, play out this card here. You can now activate main on that card to then grab a 6 cost from your deck. Activate main on this. You switch it to rest mode and you negate that Broly skills because it does count as Broly and Paragus. Then you can awaken. Then this card, when you swing, you pop this card, tap 1 green, and then you can play out the 6 cost from your hand. It's a very convoluted way of playing out a 6-drop, but it's a very powerful 6-drop, and it's a very, very interesting play that you can do. Second one is Dormant Super Warrior. This card counts as Dormant Legends, which is an old red field spell for one of the, I think it's Nightmare Horror Broly. Auto, if your leader is a green Broly card and you have 3 more energy when this card is placed in your drop from the battle area, play up to 1 Super Saiyan Broly Glacial Awakening from your deck, hand, or drop. If you look through your deck, you shuffle your deck. So we'll go over that card as well, but we now have 2 field spells you can play in this version of the deck. So one, there's some different ways you can awaken here, but obviously, like I said, you can use the Broly card here to essentially give the Broly Lone Warrior wrong deck. You can make that card a skillless, and then you can awaken off of that. So that is one way of being able to do this for 2 energy. You also can play the Broly Paragus Father and Son of Vengeance. Play that on turn 1, play your Broly Ring. Turn 2, you can then tap the Broly Ring, give this card skillless, and then you can awaken and then use the effect to then pop said card. You can pop the field spell to then play a 6 cost from your hand. So very powerful effect. So those are just some minor ways you have of being able to awaken, probably on turn 2. You should be able to awaken turn 2 every game with this deck, unless you just absolutely just mulligan really badly. But again, the leader kind of allows you to, even if you mulligan bad, you can still at least get 1 piece, preferably the Broly Paragus. So you should be able to awaken every game. Alright, so now we do have a Z extra card for this deck, which is Gigantic Meteor of Destruction. This is 2 forms of Activate Battle. Both are removed from the game. The first one, you choose one of your cards. It gets plus 10k for the battle. When an opponent's battle card is KO'd by that battle, your opponent discards 1 card from hand. So the card, basically the card that this card gives 10k to, if it KOs a battle card, your opponent discards 1 card. Activate Battle if you have 4 or more energy, and your Broly card is in a battle, which is attacking a battle card, you remove this card from the game. Your card that is in battle gets 30k power for the turn. So this means you can also give your leader 30k. If an opponent's battle card is KO'd by that battle, you may place 1 of your Z energy in the drop at the end of the battle. If you do, your opponent discards 2 cards from hand. So this is a way of being able to pop multiple forms of cards from your opponent's hand, right? So being able to swing into cards, and you're making them discard cards, which is a very, very powerful skill. Also, kind of forcing your opponent to enter combat is very irritating. So you can just kind of swing your cards at your opponent's cards, and you can just clear their board, but also removing cards from hand, either by your discard effects or from having to combo out of these because they can't actually negate those attacks. So then we have the lineup of new multicolored Brolys. So feast your eyes on these guys. So Super Saiyan Broly Glacial Awakening, Super Saiyan Broly The Nightmare Begins, and Super Saiyan Broly Tenacious Onslaught. All of these are technically 5k 0 cost combos, so keep that in mind. So Glacial Awakening, 20k deflect. If you have a green Broly card in your energy or battle area, negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas. So essentially you have a built-in check land. Not that you already didn't have a check land, but now you can charge a green energy turn 1, and then you can charge this turn 2, and now you have multicolor for the rest of the game. Discard one card from your hand. This card is played. Choose one of your leaders, and it gets 5k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can make your leader a 20k. It's not bad, but it is a pretty cool effect that the deck does now have. You have the ability of going into a bean, and also you can do this by popping the other field spell, essentially. Super Saiyan Broly, The Nightmare Begins. When this card is played, this card gains critical for the turn. Additionally, if you have 3 or more energy, and you choose one of your Paragus cards and place it in your drop. If you do during that turn, this card can attack battle cards in active mode. Then, when an opponent's battle card is KO'd by this card's attack, switch this card to active mode. When this card is removed from battle area by a skill or KO, activate up to 1 dormant legend from your deck, hand, or drop. If you look through your deck, shuffle your deck. So you have the ability of essentially going from the skillless into this Broly, and then this Broly will pop itself to then play dormant legends, dormant legend, and then dormant legend will play out Glacial Awakening. So you can you're kind of going around your chain, which is really cool. The big thing with this card is a 30k critical. So the first swing, obviously, you want to swing at a battle card, force your opponent. Your opponent obviously can't do anything. You're going to swing at it 30k. Bam. You can also attack cards in active mode. Then you can swing at your opponent's leader for 30k, or you can swing at your another opponent's battle card and just clear stuff on board. This is going to be very, very powerful, and honestly might power creep some decks depending on how quickly you can put this down. And then we have the third Broly, Super Saiyan Broly Tenacious Onslaught. So 35k double strike. You can X evolve on top of a Broly that costs 4, a red or green Broly that costs 4, for either a red or green energy, and you draw a card. Or you can arrival them out for 1 green and 1 colorless. When the card is played, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. That's pretty good. Auto, when an opponent's battle card is KO'd by this card's attack, draw 1 and switch this card to active mode. Additionally, if your opponent has 2 or more life, and your opponent has 3 or more energy, you deal 1 damage to them. So you can take them down from 2 to 1 with this, which is hilarious. But this is a 35k double striker. It's going to come in, pop a card from your opponent's hand, and now you can swing and kill a battle card, which if you do, you get to draw another card, switch this to active mode, and then burn your opponent for a damage. It's a very powerful effect. Again, your opponent can't stop battle card attacks with counters. So that definitely changes how people have to play. If people end up playing this Broly deck, makes a lot of these decks, like yellow decks and blue decks, that really rely on defending friends and robotic riposte, they can't really utilize that as well, especially if they have battle cards on board. So it's a very interesting technique here. That brings us to the Z Leader, Super Saiyan Broly All Transcending Devil. Very cool art. 2 cost green. Awaken when your life's at 3 or less, and you have a Broly's Ring and Dormant Legend in your drop area, and you can evolve on top of a green Broly card. So you can do this on, there's like 2 or 3 different leaders you can do this for, which is very cool. Permanent, your red-green multicolor Broly cards in all areas get -1 combo cost. So now instead of being 5k free combos, these are 10k free combos. Even more ridiculous is now you have all these pseudo combos you can just use to just combo shit off, which is very, very good. Permanent, during a battle which one of your Broly cards is attacking a battle card, your opponent can activate counter skills, so you'd still get that effect, and now you still get the same effect on your auto. But now if you put a green card from your battle area in the drop, this card gets 10k for the turn, making him a 30k swing. Meaning you're swinging for game, you go into 30. That's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Very powerful card. Being a free Z Leader is always good. Free is always way better. Keeping the same effects, and now also getting the free ability to combo 10Ks is very, very good. As I said before, free Z Leader. All the arrivals now are 10Ks, and you have a 30k leader on your swing is pretty strong. Nothing bad to really say about that right there. So now we get into some of the other support. We have a Super Saiyan 3 Broly Tyrant. This is a 20k. Essentially, you can play this card for 1 by placing 1 non-unique green card from your battle area in the drop, and you can pay 1 green and 1 Z energy instead. So this is a 1 drop 20k. Activate main. If you have 3 more energy, you can place 1 non-unique card from your battle area in your drop. You get to KO any of your opponent's battle cards. And then if you have 4 more energy, when a battle area card is placed in a drop, this card gets 5k and double strike. So this is if you pop one of your opponent's battle cards, or they pop a card from their battle area, or if you pop a card from your battle area, both field spell or battle card, this card gets 5k and double strike. So it'd be a 25k double strike for 1 energy. It's very, very powerful. Also, this is just very good in, I think, a lot of green decks. I think a lot of green decks are just going to slot this in. Probably going to take place for that Frieza that a lot of people were just playing for a while. So this might just become a 1 of, if not a 2 of in any deck, but this deck is probably going to be at least a 2 of or a 3 of. And then we have this Bio Broly support that we're not going to go over too much. It's cool-ish, I guess. It's just cool that they're supporting Bio Broly, but I don't see any purpose of really playing this stuff right now. The blocker can't be removed from the battle area by skills, but it can be negated. It can be negged. So it's meh. The Jaguar Island is just kind of a meme. The Bio Warriors are bleh. They're not great. So we're not gonna really go into too much of this stuff. But you guys are happy about these cards? Great. I just don't think they're that, not much to really talk about with them. So now to the deck building portion of the video. So just some notes to think about while we are building this deck. We want to focus on the red-green engine for max amount of value. I do think there's a very good potential this could be the green-red deck that we will see. Consistently being able to awaken turn 2 is key, so making sure those consistent 1 drops, we're going to make sure we can hit those every single time. Making room for green staples. This is going to be a big thing now. Green is a very, very good color right now, and I would say Gohan's a really, really good deck, but green has a lot of good tools, and we need to be able to fit some of those green cards in to make this deck kind of be solidified as a potential meta contender, while also looking for red cards to tech in for options. So these are just finding some interesting red cards, if we find any, that are good enough to fill out this 50 or 55 cards that we're going to end up putting in this main deck, or 60. We'll see kind of what we end up finding. But now we're going to go over to the deck building portion of the video, and we'll see what we come up with. Alright guys, so we have our list here. I have the main deck and the Z deck that we will go over so you guys can see what we came up with. I believe we got 51 cards here in the main deck. You can probably just go down to 50 if you would like, but I did feel like 51 seemed to be pretty consistent because we were able to search out our awakening conditions basically on turn 0 without any penalty, so it is a very good, I think it's a pretty good 51 here. So we'll go over the stuff that we already kind of talked about, the 2 sealed. We have Sealed Warrior and Dormant Super Warrior. I put 2 and 2 in here because you are able to search them out. You don't need a ton of them. You might end up cutting one of these down, probably Dormant Super Warrior to 1, but the problem is you don't want to make it, you want to make sure it doesn't get stuck in your life. That means you can't Z Awaken. So I think running 2 and 2 is fine. If I test this deck, which I probably will end up testing this deck or helping somebody test this deck, we'll kind of tweak out some stuff and see if we find anything that's a little bit better. But 2 and 2 seem to work. I did 2 Demonic Restraints. This is a card that you might see play in this particular build. I think it actually does work a little bit. I kind of went with a little more of a hand instruction build slightly. This card is also treated as Broly Ring, and this card and cards in your hand cannot be discarded by your green leader Broly skills. We don't really do that in this deck. However, if you use a mono green Broly, when this card is discarded or placed in the drop area from your battle area by one of your leader skills or battle card skills, activate this card from your drop area and then add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So this, what's nice is that this will allow us to get down to Homicidal Clone range. This will also allow us to get down to super combo range without taking damage from our opponent. Also being able to take our own life to go down to Z Awaken. You don't have to do that effect, but you can continue to pop this card. The other 2 field spells are removed, and once those get removed, we do have this on board. Again, we are in a yellow meta in some aspects, right? So having a card you can consistently tap off Mecha Frieza or Vegito, very, very good. The bottom effect, though, is kind of why I wanted this in the deck, is that we can play a 6-drop mono green Broly from our hand for 3 energy, which is very powerful for us to be able to kind of have this hand destruction thing going on later in the game. So we'll go over that in a little bit. We have those. Also, again, this card is searchable off of the... You can activate this card off of the Broly, off of the Paraguses. However, this is the card you need to awaken. You need to hit this card. Once you hit this card, you'll probably never use this card again, but we can always charge them and pitch them off of other effects. We have 4 of the Paragus Brolys. I think this is probably the best one. This is the one you're going to want to max out one. This is the one you're going to want to hit every single turn one. In most situations, this is probably the best one to actually open because it is a Broly and a Paragus, so it fulfills both requirements. That's very good. But then we do have 3 of the strategists and 2 Broly Lone Warrior, and then 2 of the beginnings of Ambition. So we kind of cut down a little bit on these. This Broly is not needed as much. Later on in the game, it might just be used to just search out super combos, but it is a Broly target. This might end up getting cut completely. 3 strategists and 2 of the Paragus. This is just in case, for whatever reason, we want to use these to do other things. Now, because these cards can be played for free, this Broly here you can end up cutting if you want to for more copies of this Paragus and this Paragus, because these you can at least play for free, but you do need a Broly card in play. So just a little bit of tidbit there. We have 4 Paragus Super Combo. As I said, I just talked about this. Now, I actually don't think this is searchable, unfortunately. This card is actually not going to be searchable. I was thinking about when I was building it, I'm like, it doesn't really matter, right? But you can't actually search it. You cannot actually search this card off of this because it has to be. This is a Paragus BR. They knew what they were doing, so it is fine. However, this is probably still the best green super combo, and technically it goes with the theme, right? It goes with the theme. It is a Broly card. It is a Paragus card. So this is probably the best super combo to still play. Who cares if you can't search it? You can't search the other ones anyways, so it's fine. We have 4 of the Glacial Awakening. Again, this is sort of a check land, so we do want to make sure we have this card. You can play off of this guy here. You might end up doing that a few times, but it's mainly there for check lands. 2 Broly Swift Executor. So this card here is really cool. So this card used to be very, very expensive when it first came out. Very cool effect for the time that this card came out. I remember this card being like $30, $40 plus. So it's a 20k crit. Activate battle. If your leader is a Broly card, play this card from your hand and choose a 20 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets -10 power for the turn. You play this with 1 green and one green and 1 red. Auto choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. Once cards played, choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it in their drop. This is very cool. So this gives you like a cell effect. Also, this is a 20k crit. Because we're going to be doing a little bit of hand destruction in the deck, having a 20k crit is pretty nice. Again, this is a free combo because our leader is going to be awoken. This is going to be a 5k 0 cost combo. Also, it is a red or green Broly, so keep that in mind. Two of the tenacious onslaughts. So this card can actually evolve off of the Broly Swift Executioner or the Glacial Awakening. So you do have 2 targets there. And we already kind of went over the effects as well. You also can do the arrival stuff too if you want to. 2 of the Nightmare Begins. I think 2 is okay. You can probably go up to 3. This card's only playable off of this effect, or off of the Broly effect, so it's not like you're going to play this card out a ton. So it's not something you want to max out on, I don't feel. I think 2 is probably good. You're probably going to play it once per game, unless you use it, unless you really maximize the Sealed Super Warrior effect, which you can. But I think having 2 of them is probably fine. 3 Chi-Chi Motherly Majesty. So this card here says if you have 2 or more red-green multicolor cards in your energy, when this card is used in a combo, draw 1. So this is a kind of like a pseudo combo. We're going to be able to use this just to cycle more cards. And it's always a draw 1. So once we charge 2 of these multicolors, this is always going to be a draw 1. That is very, very good. So in like Broly Surge, this was a card that you would absolutely need to play 4 of, because this is kind of the way that you drew off your leader, because your leader doesn't actually combo cards. I mean, your leader doesn't actually draw cards by himself. He has to combo a red or a green card to draw. So he would draw 2. This way we're drawing with our leader and we're drawing off of comboing cards, so it's pretty good. 3 Homicidal Clones. We're a green deck. We're going to play Homicidal Clones. 4 Uneasy Awakening Rage. This is your negate. You don't get the bottom effect because you're not a Gohan leader, but the top effect, the Floodgate effect, you can get, and you can also discard a second card to make it for free. We have one Cell Max, so this will probably change unless there's a better secret that comes out in the set. But a very cool thing you can do, and I don't typically I don't agree with this effect. I don't think this is how it should work, but I don't like arguing with people about rules, so it is what it is. But apparently you can use your leader effect to place this in the drop, and then it would activate the effect and blow up your entire opponent's board and then burn them to damage. I don't agree because this card's not being placed in the drop, but people are saying that the auto is not. The auto isn't a skill cost and blah 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 blah. So whatever. If it works that way, whatever. If it doesn't work that way, great. It's a very strange mechanic, but I think right now it's probably the best secret rare to run in this deck, because if it does work that way, in hindsight, you do have a burn effect you can kill your opponent with, which is really stupid. Basically past turn 4, I should say. But whatever. But if they have a better secret rare that comes out, so be it. You might run that instead. But this is probably the best one to run for green. We have 4 Broly the Swift Berserkers. So this is a card has seen no play at all. Very interesting card though. So it has 2 different effects. Actually, main, if your leader is a mono green and you have 3 or more energy, you may choose one of your mono green battle cards with an energy cost of 1 and Broly in its character name, or a mono green extra card with energy cost of 1 and the field skill, and place it in the owner's drop. If you do, play this card from your hand. So this card can trigger any of these 3 effects here, right? Let's continue. Top effect, auto. When this card is played, you may choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. If you do, choose up to 1 mono green Broly with energy cost with a evolve skill in your hand and play on top of this card. Pretty powerful effect, right? So what card are we going to play off of that? Oh, we're going to play Broly the Rampaging Horror, and of course we're going to play the new Gen Con art, which is not crazy cool, but it's different enough to be interesting. Unless you have the SPRs, you play the SPRs, right? So this card normally costs 5 to play out on top of a Broly, right? This is a 30k double strike. When you play this card, choose up to 2 cards from your opponent's hand and place them in the drop. So it's like a Cell's Max Kamehameha, or Earth Destroying Kamehameha. But you get to take 2 cards, and then you're swinging 30 double strike, right? So you can play it. Essentially, you can play it for 2. You can play off the Broly here, and for 2 energy, or you can play it off of the demonic restraint for 3. So there's just a little more hand destruction in there. Again, we're not running a ton of hand destruction, as you can see. I think we're just running enough. We have the Broly here. We have this guy that can do a little bit of hand destruction. We're swinging crit. So there's a little bit of that built in. But being able to play this guy out, I think, is a very powerful effect. Now, unfortunately, his combo cost does not get reduced, so he is a 10k always. But I think this is a very powerful thing that should be visited in this deck. I think it can end up doing well. And the last card here is going to be the Goku. This is just a good green card. This card probably replaces Fated Rivals, and matchups that can't fit both Fated Rivals and this card in here, you're just going to play this card instead of Fated Rivals in most situations. Just a better card. 35k gets double strike. 35k gets barrier, has double strike. It's going to swing, pop a card from your opponent's hand, and pop a card on board ignoring barrier. You're not going to get the bottom effect unless you combo a Goku, which we're not going to play Goku that cost 1. We're just not going to do that. So very powerful effect though. 2-drop, 35k barrier. It's pretty powerful. Side deck. We don't have a side deck. We never do side decks in these videos, but we do have a Z deck. So the Z deck's a little weird because there's one card here that technically doesn't make any sense. But we have 1 of the Z leaders, 2 of the Broly Tyrants, 2 of the Super Saiyan Broly the Demon Revived. Again, another very good card that's used in the Broly Surge deck. If your leader is a Broly card, you get to ignore this card's specific cost in all areas. This card can be KO'd by skills while it's in the battle area, so it can't be KO'd by green decks, which is very good. Well, this card attacks, choose up to 1 red or green card with a combo cost of 5 from the drop with the skill negated for the turn. If you have 4 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw 1. You might not ever really have to do that, but this is a 20k swing. Essentially, it's also building UZ energy. And then activate main, you can discard 1 card from your hand, up to 1 card from your life. Then your opponent either discards a card or you KO a 20k. So you can basically, just pitch a card, KO something, swing with this, and then get the combo cost off of it. Pretty cool. Last card. So this is actually going to be the Z extra card. They have not added that to DBS Deck Planet yet. Very strange. But this Android 16 spot is technically the Z extra card, so just keep that in mind. So we're doing 2 of them. I think you're probably going to run. I think a lot of the Z extra cards are probably going to be at least a 1 of, if not a 2 of, in most decks going forward, just because they all seem to be pretty good. Yeah. So that is the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you guys did, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Let me know if there's any particular techs that you think would possibly work in this deck. I know there's a lot. It took me probably about 30-40 minutes to kind of settle on a list, just because of all of the good Broly cards and the green stuff that you can run in this deck. So I think I've solidified it to a good starting point for you to base a good Broly deck off of, and then you can kind of tweak it and see what you guys want to like from there. So thank you guys again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, obviously like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.